Why do narcissists believe in conspiracy theories? Part 2. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I'm examining why it is that certain narcissists very much rely upon a belief in conspiracy theories. One of the areas in understanding this that we need to look at is interpersonal trust. It makes perhaps no surprise for you that people who believe more in conspiracy theories tend to trust others less. Not just the government or the media or the institutions of society, but also other people in general, friends, neighbours, colleagues. This, of course, also fits with the attitude of the narcissist. Because as I explained in part 1, narcissists are generally less likely to trust people as a consequence of their underlying paranoia. Their attitude that people have let them down because of the black and white thinking. This lack of trust makes sense. People who are more suspicious of others are more likely to detect a conspiracy, genuine or otherwise. The research on trust demonstrates that we know that trust and conspiracy theories are correlated, but people don't exactly know why it is. Less trusting people might be suspicious in general, and they're more likely to detect a conspiracy. But it also makes sense that if you think others are conspiring a lot, you would probably end up trusting them less. Likewise, some third factor that could influence both variables, that there's a feedback loop between mistrust and conspiracy beliefs, so that each one feeds the other. Other work, in relation to conspiracy theories, has looked at predicting conspiracy theory belief from broad personality traits. The two personality traits most often found to be connected to conspiracy belief are agreeableness and openness to experience. Studies show that people who are more modest, compliant, and empathic are likely to reject conspiracy theories. As you know, narcissists have no emotional empathy, and therefore that suggests a link between why a narcissist would be more likely to accept a conspiracy theory than not. Popular fiction and news media very often characterize conspiracy theorists as paranoid, and that conspiracy theories are actually delusions. Some research has actually looked into the question of whether there really is a connection between conspiracy belief and paranoid delusion. The most common form of delusion in schizophrenia is the persecutory delusion. This persecutory delusion is a paranoid belief that others are conspiring to persecute you. For example, that there are agents that are harassing you, monitoring your telephone calls, or that someone, somewhere, keeps on making a particular noise that's invading your consciousness, preventing you from sleeping. Persecutory delusions differ from what are usually known as conspiracy theories in that delusions usually propose a conspiracy against the deluded person themselves, i.e., they're out to get me specifically. But conspiracy theories about 9/11, vaccines, moon landings, etc. are actually much broader in scope. That is, a standard conspiracy theory relates more to a relatively large targeted group. The general public, for instance, certain large sections of the general public, they're out to get us. This is a key difference between everyday conspiracy theories and delusions of conspiracy that stem from clinical paranoia. Nevertheless, there are particular similarities between conspiracy theories and the features of certain psychological disorders that might lead to there being a psychological connection. There is some evidence that non-clinical paranoia is correlated with beliefs in conspiracy theories. Most of the research in this area focuses on schizotypy. A theory that people fall on a broad spectrum of certain psychological experience, ranging from complete normality to mild dissociative states to full-blown psychosis. Mentally healthy individuals vary considerably in how schizotypal they are. Specifically, people who are higher in schizotypy tend to display higher creativity and artistic ability, impulsiveness, superstitious beliefs and magical thinking, disorganized thought patterns, introversion, and antisocial behavior. Psychologists have added conspiracy theorists to this list. More schizotypal individuals, especially those more prone to magical thinking and unusual experiences, tend to take conspiracy theories more seriously. Now, standing aside from the schizotypal set for a moment, who is it that also utilizes magical thinking and paranoia? Narcissists. More of that in a moment. Some researchers have theorized that more schizotypal individuals believe more conspiracy theories because they are simply more suspicious than others. That might well be accurate, and a similar thought process would apply to narcissists. Narcissists tend to, on the whole, be more suspicious of other individuals, and therefore may that well be the case that causes them, because they're more suspicious, to treat information in a particular way so that they are more likely then to believe in conspiracy theories. Some evidence suggests that people high in schizotypy are more likely to detect intentions or agency in ambiguous situations. That is, they are more likely to think that things happen intentionally rather than accidentally. Because of this, they conclude that a conspiracy could be behind a set of events that others might just dismiss as coincidence. It's also possible that less schizotypal people simply come into contact with fewer unusual or unconventional beliefs, which includes conspiracy theories. If you're going to be exposed to this information, there's a chance that you're more likely to believe in it, as a consequence of giving you food for thought. If, because of your personality type, you never go near this information, then you're far less likely to be exposed to it, far less likely to consider it. Whereas, if you're regularly immersed in this information, then there's a greater chance that you will embrace it. Accordingly, while psychologists have noted that schizotypal individuals are more susceptible to it, it also leads us into considering the role of the narcissist with regard to these conspiracy theories. In part 3, I'm going to examine what it is particularly about certain narcissists that lead them to have such a level of interest in conspiracy theories. Join me there.